I'm curious now. Okay. Because I know in the original versions you could get out. You could get out of the chair when you're in the maze. Nope, you can't. Darn. What can I say? I like destroying. Yep. Oh no, never mind. I was about to say I thought I went the wrong way because there was no audio cue. Yeah, see, the door's still open. Alright, we are out of here. And actually, Andy, I noticed the books are more in line with the books like in the newer ones, like Exile, if you notice. So maybe this is just an updated version of how they were supposed to look in the first place, but they just couldn't do it graphically. I don't know.
With each page I can see more clearly. Soon, free from this horrible prison.
Yeah, that was lava.
You must visit the one remaining age which you have not. Confident that my brother Akhenar is demented. He is guilty. He took advantage of the freedom our father had given us. Akhenar began to I ask you again. Do not retrieve the blue pages. He will destroy both myself and you, just as he destroyed the other pages of the mist. Never will escape. You must simply bring the red story that I your wisdom. You will see that I am innocent and he is guilty. This forgotten island long ago. I will owe you my life, and you will be greatly rewarded.
One thing that just kind of occurred to me that I don't think they've never really answered in anything is um, whether or not if Sirius and Agonar are twins or if one's older than the other. I don't know. They've always been kind of on par with each other. They've always been equals. So, all right. So the final journal. Before arriving in this age, I was determined that it would be a journey to a world very different from my previous adventures, and it was. The sky here is dark and gray and incessantly displays flashes of lightning in the distance. I met a very old man with a long beard and hair that hangs to his waist. He is very feeble and trouble even moving. This man has obviously been through very many things in this strange world, and I have learned many things from him. He has told me of an interesting story of this world's history. Years ago, he told me there was a beautiful city that rose up out of the water. It housed many people inside its walls. The people had everything they wished for. The city was surrounded by 3 high hills which rose higher than the city. On the east hill of the city rested a large lookout post. The people of the city had constructed the post expecting visitors to arrive from the east. People had no means of traveling on the water, which forced them to merely wait for friend or foe. As time passed, friendly visitors brought rumors of an enemy that existed beyond the horizon. People grew fearful, yet nothing happened. One day the vigilantly sunny sky became dark as night, and black ships appeared on the horizon. The lookout post's attempts at peace were turned away, and the sentries were easily overwhelmed. Ships continued to wreak havoc on the city, apparently destroying everyone and everything. After the foundations of the city were destroyed, the city sunk deep into the ocean, and only the lookout post remained. The black ships sailed away. The man continued to say that 8 people had hidden and managed to survive throughout the attack. In the 9 years since the attack, 2 of the survivors had died. He'd also said it was rumored that 10 years from the attack, the enemy would return to finish the destruction they had started so long ago. I've decided since hearing this man's story, it would be admirable to save the civilization and stop the enemy's plans for destruction. I am excited about the adventure that awaits me, and the idea sparked in my mind to provide the needed defense for these people. I met the remaining survivors today and begun work on a plan of protection. So this actually, I don't remember being in the original journal, but we kind of get something about a gear room. After a short absence, I have returned to this age with my 2 sons. They have, as of yet, traveled rarely with me, and they are understandably excited to be here. They have grown considerably since Everdunes, and it is obvious to me that they will be a great help this time instead of being of the nuisance they have been in the past. All 3 of us, along with 4 of the Hethia survivors, began construction today. We are building upon the old city's ruins, which will provide the perfect foundation for our fortress. My sons have been spending much of their spare time on the South Island where most of my materials are stored. I'm very pleased with their intelligence, and their creativity is refreshing to see as they work on small projects of their own. So we see a drawing of a height of stairs. It has been over 4 months now and construction is going well. My sons love the world except for its gray sky. They detest the gray sky and tell me many times they wish the sky here was like here the blue sky on Mist. The old man I first talked to tells me the enemy is due in 4 months. I feel we will be ready when the time comes. The man reminds me of Emmett in many ways, and I often wonder how Emmett and his people are doing. It has been 6 months of work, and we finally finished the fortress. It rests between the three hills, which are now only islands due to the rising water level the people experienced after the attack. Inside the fortress, I've designed the most intriguing device. It makes use of a technology called holography. I began experimenting on I've experimenting with on my visit to Aspermere. It will be working in a couple of days after I compensate for some small miscalculations. The holographic device will enable the survivors to learn to use the fortress. Here's another one. This kind of gives you an idea. The enemy is due to come soon, and I trust the fortress will provide sufficient protection for all of us. So now we get a glimpse of the fortress. The black ships have come. Their attack was substantial. Their weapons have been stopped, and it appears they have turned away in defeat. I could not help but smile as I watched the boats leave. Insignia of the black ship. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this. I saw this in Stone Ship. This insignia, one of the in Sirius's room. Last night we had a small celebration. The old survivors danced their dances of old. My sons didn't understand why the sky had not turned back to its original blue. The old men had told them the storms would never end until the enemy was destroyed. I assured my sons the blue sky was not worth the risk of death, and they seemed to hear me. I have had a healthy adventure and begun work on a new book. Once again, I must leave a familiar age in search of a new universe. I have begun. But first I will have an extended time with Catherine, who I miss very much. I also must return to the people of the tide. I believe in my travels I have found a substance that will ease the pain of their bone ailments that they have long endured. I hope to return to mechanical age one day and find the population growing and my fortress still strong. Though the sky may always be black, I am confident that people here feel a heavier darkness has been lifted from their shoulders. I think for the hell of it later I might have to go back to Stone Ship and confirm that. So no real hints in the novel, in the journal itself, but obviously there's a gear. So, and if we remember from the map, there's 4 spots that we didn't. There's 4 spots that show up red, and there's one that we haven't done yet, and that is the gear. So we're gonna go up into the tower. And there we can see the gear. It's obviously where the book is located. And the final key is 240221. Hi, Dad. Alright, so we have the solution. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Another nice thing about this one is, used to be you could only see this, so to check it you had to back off and then look at it. So we have a neat little bridge, and here is the final marker switch. Two, two, one. And that opens the gear. So, graphics are a little choppy in this area, but not bad. So now we go on to the final age, the mechanical age. There we see the fortress. Alright, so pretty straightforward. So we're going to take a left. And we're going to go and we're going to find ourselves in Sirius's room. So you can tell he thinks obviously very highly of himself. Kind of an egomaniac. Got a couple interesting little toys. Nice little looking throne. Replicas of the spaceship and the ship. Nothing out there. Now, these really had nothing to do, but it was funny because they used to throw a lot of people off. And then if we see here, we have a little hidden entryway. So, as you can tell, Agonar wasn't making it up when he talked about how... Why am I not able... There we go. That Agonar, or Sirius, is very greedy. A lot of money. And there is the red page. And let's see what this says. Sirius, your greed sickens me. Your desire for wealth and plunder is never satisfied. I will instruct my subjects not to pay your new tax, and you will know they will listen to me. Regards, Agonar. Alright, so we have the red page. And we're going to come back here in a second, but we're going to go into Sirius's room really quick. And so we have red lights. Hold on, I got to plug my headset in. There we go. So we got blood red light, curtain over the window, lots of weapons, axes, skins. You can see his little throne. And then you have this. Now remember how I was saying you kind of had to go here before you went to Salentic because this gives you the key. So we take off the brake. Let's go ahead and... You have the hiss. Basically, each of these, you can only move the 4 directions, and it'll give you the audio cue. The ding. The click, and obviously the dong for south. So let's go and take a look in his little hidden area. So we've got a butcher's block and a head. Bunch of poisons and a cage that is electrified. So, yeah, he really earns the Captain Crazy Pants moniker. All right, we'll come back here later because the blue page is in there. But so there's the height of stairs. I love the music in this age. And now we have an elevator. Now there's normally nothing up here, but if we hit the middle switch, it's on a timer. And there we can see, I actually wonder, can you actually, yeah, you can see the gear room that he was talking about. Oh, I think he tortures a lot more than bunnies. So we're going to go ahead and rotate the fortress. So a lot of this age is just going back and forth here. Actually, no, I wanted to go the other way. I wanted to go to Cirrus's room. Because now that we've rotated the fortress, if we look through the telescope, there's going to be different views. So nothing there. And now we're on the West Island. Cirrus doesn't need or Agonar doesn't need a hobby. He needs a medication. Right, so we got two symbols. What my older brother titled the Moon over Colorado and the half circle. So we will remember that for later. And we're going to go back up. Now we're at the North Island. And now that we've rotated the fortress again, we're going to go back to Cirrus's room and check the telescope. And still nothing. And now we have the first two pieces, the C and what my older brother titled the pins. So we know the full passcode now. So now we can go back to the southern island, but I want to rotate the fortress back to the east, just to make sure that we cover all the directions. And so, as I was saying, like I said earlier, this age is the quickest to do a return trip because you don't need to do the rotation. You already have the password, so you just go in, grab the page, leave. That's it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and check Sirius's scope one more time. I gotta take a quick break, really quick. I'll be right back. Alright. Okay. That is obviously reminiscent of the Black Fleet, but creepy. Alright, time to go ahead and rotate the fortress one more time back to the South Island, and we are out of here. And there we go. C pins. Colorado Moon and half circle. Now for probably my favorite music in this whole game. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it, but I like this song the best. And we are out of here. Back to the library. Alright, and finally give him the final of the 4 pages.
You finally returned. I owe you a debt of gratitude, for you have nearly released me. My name is Sirius. I trust that from your explorations you've become convinced that my wicked brother Achenar is guilty, and I am innocent. It is I who am wrongly imprisoned here. Imprisoned by my father. I don't know who you are, or how you came to this island, but I assume you must at least know something of the books. It was father who was a master of the books. He wrote hundreds of them, all describing and linking to the fantastic places and ages which he had discovered. The room in which you now stand was our father's library. It was here in this room, on this island named Myst, that he housed most of these books. But such a waste. By now, you have surely discovered that Achenar has burnt and mutilated most of these books. Why? Our father was always watchful of our exploration. We grew up under his strict supervision. But when we came of age, he gave us unbridled access to the Myst books. He began to leave our adventures more and more unchecked. Unsupervised as we were, my brother began to become disturbed. He began to take more from the Myst ages than he had given. Soon he gained a twisted pleasure from the conquest and destruction of the other ages. It was horrific. This thirst for destruction. But alas, even I discovered his insanity too late. He had completely destroyed all of the Myst ages but 4. I wasted no time. In warning my father, I thought he would recognize Achenar's guilt. But in a fit of rage, he imprisoned both my brother and myself within the pages of these books, designed to hold us until he could judge which of us was guilty. To discover the truth, our father embarked on one final journey. However, he has never returned. I can only assume that he perished along the way, leaving me, an innocent victim, trapped forever. But now, you are here to release me. Listen carefully. You must find one more page and I will be forever free. There is a book on the shelves in this library which is mostly burned but has a few pages still intact. It is the last book on the middle shelf. Find it. This book is filled with a variety of patterns. Find pattern 158 and recreate it on the door of the fireplace. This will bring you to the last red page. Bring that page to me, and I will finally be released, and able to reward you, of course. Ignore the blue page. That page finishes my brother's book. It chills me to even think what would happen if you were to release him. There is another warning. Where the red and blue pages reside, also resides a green book. If you touch the green book, you also will be imprisoned forever. Our father gave us this same warning long ago. I suggest you follow his advice. Go now. Soon we will meet face to face.
Alright, so now we finally get the whole part of his side of the story. So let's go back to mechanical, get the last blue page, and we'll get Agonar's take on it. And then we'll finish this out. Alright, so now into Agonar's room. And we will grab the blue page and get out of here. That's all we need to do. Now to get Agonar's side of the story.
Hello, I'm Akenar. I'm glad to see that you've returned to help me escape from my wrongful imprisonment. It was Cirrus who did this to me. Cirrus, my wicked brother. Do not listen to him. I warn you. He's a liar. Do not be persuaded by his evil lies. Do not release him. He killed my father. He will kill you. Began when my brother Cirrus began to lust for riches. He stole from the Aegis Mist. He hoarded riches for himself. My father slept away his watchfulness. My sick brother secretly pronounced himself king. King of the Aegis Mist, he said. He began to look upon me in disgust. His lowly brother. I hated him. And then Cirrus began to destroy the Aegis of Mist. He burned their forest. He tore down their structures. He flooded their lands. He murdered their inhabitants. Completely destroyed all but 4 of the Aegis. Of course, I had to warn Father. When I finally found him, there was Cirrus also, talking cleverly. The lying tongue of a serpent. He had convinced Father that it was I who had destroyed the Aegis. He convinced Father that it was I who was greedy for wealth and plunder. And as Cirrus dealt the final blow, he tricked Father into believing that I was the murderer. But Cirrus did not deal as fast a blow as he planned. And his father died a slow death. He at last doubted my brother's clever lies, and so in dying, Father imprisoned us both. Unsure from which of us the blow had come. I swear to you what I say is true. Release me. You must release me. My brother is a deceitful liar and deserves punishment. I only wish vengeance for my dear father. His murder. Believe me. You must only recover 1 additional page to release me from this prison. It's the easiest to find. Go to the bookshelf. It's in this library. On the far right side of the middle shelf, there's a burned book, which is different from the other burned books. This book is filled with patterns. Find pattern 158. Mimic its design on the panel in the fireplace. Doing this will bring you to the last blue page. Remember, don't take the red page. Only the blue page. Return quickly to me. Do not touch the green book. It's a clever trap to imprison those who have not been warned. Do not be tempted, for you will rot and die, imprisoned as I am. I tell you, if you follow my instructions, it will be well worth your while. I promise you that. Go. Go.
Okay. So I've decided to make an executive decision. I don't believe either of them. So we're going to go down here now that I have all the marker switches activated, and by looky there, there's a page. so the middle shelf, far right. There's the pattern book. Goes pattern 158. There it is. And now to cram ourselves into the fireplace. Can I have my cursor? Really? Alright, hold on a second. I gotta relaunch it. There we go. It would help if I actually fix this. There. Alright. Let's try this again, shall we? There we go. I don't know what was up with that. Nope. Okay, so it's an M. Alright, that's what I did wrong. What am I missing? Okay, so... There we go. Alright, the final 2 pages, but I'm not going to bother with those. So we're going to take a look at the green book.
Who the devil are you? Don't come here to done it, not yet. Oh, I have many questions for you, my friend, as you no doubt have for me. Where should I begin? Perhaps my story is in order. My name is Atris. I feel you've met my son, Cirrus and Achenar, in the red and blue books on Mist Island, my library. My works, my writings. Oh, I wrote many books that linked me to fantastic places. It's an art I learned from my father many years ago. Oh, but the red and blue books, those were different. I wrote those books to entrap over greedy explorers who might stumble upon my island of mist. But I had no idea my own sons would be entrapped. My sons, Cirrus and Achenar. We had many journeys together. I gave them free rein to the books. Perhaps it was not wise. I could see the greed growing in them. I had not told them about the red and blue books. Their imaginations went wild. They dreamed of riches and power. Of course, they did not know the books were traps. They begged me for access to those books, and I, of course, denied them. Oh, they devised a plan. An evil plan. I had no idea to what extent their greed had progressed. Their own mother. Oh, my own dear Catherine. They used her to lure me here to Dunny. Of course, I could return to Myst, except they removed a single page from my Myst linking book. I cannot return without that page. You, my friend, can bring that page to me. Oh, I pray you believe my story above the lies that my sons have told you. If you could find it in yourself to return that page to me here in Dunny, I could go to Myst, bring justice to my sons for what they've done. I must return to my writing. Pray that you believe me. Please hurry. Bring the page. Bring the page with you.
And we just happen to have that page. Welcome to Kavir. Kavir is a island in Dunny where Atris actually grew up for a while. Is referenced multiple times in the the Myst books. So that's kind of cool how they did that.
Ah, my friend. You've returned. The page. Did you bring the page? Ah, give it to me. You've done the right thing. I have a difficult choice to make. My sons have betrayed me. I know what I must do. I shall return shortly.
One thing I don't like is they changed it because the original effect is he was drawn into it, which I mean that was kind of the whole point of linking. Is it's like all the descriptions of linking talks about how you're drawn into it.
It is done. Oh, I have many questions for you, my friend, but my writing cannot wait. I fear that my long delay may have already had a catastrophic impact on the world in which my wife Catherine is being held hostage. Oh, reward. I'm sorry, but all I have to offer you is the library on the island of Myst. The books that are contained there. Feel free to explore at your leisure. Hope your explorations are satisfying. You will no longer have my sons to deal with. fighting a foe much greater than my sons could ever have imagined. At some point in the future, I may find it necessary to request your assistance. Till that point, you're free to enjoy the exploration from my library on Myst. Thank you again.
You know, the funny part is when I first played this game when I was in middle school, I thought that something was to actually happen after this.
Use the Myst linking book to return to Myst.
This is new. Interesting. So we're gonna go back to Myst. But yeah, originally when I first played it, I didn't know that he was referring to a completely separate game. I thought something was actually supposed to happen afterwards. So some rather big explosion marks and the Rhyme Journal. Rhyme, I have named it. A desolate age with a beauty that is quite different than I had expected or imagined. The intricate feathers of ice that fall from the sky are awe-inspiring. I feel as though I could sit and watch them for hours. And although it is cold here like I've never experienced before, I find myself enjoying the change in temperature for it is unlike a place that I have ever seen. Perhaps the oddest thing is the silence. Although the wind blows on occasion, when it ceases, there is a suffocating silence that falls on this place, broken only by the distant cries of unseen creatures. I visited 3 times, and I'm sure that this age will provide the environment I need. I believe the cold temperature is necessary for obtaining the correct resonance. Examining the structure of the books is ever more perplexing, for I'm driven onward by my need to understand. The great tree of possibilities can never be grasped, but I must at least try to find one particular branch. On the subject of enlightenment, I would also like to find the cause of the mysterious lights that shine in the darkness here. Though I've never assumed that I will be able to build especially fast here, the speed at which I'm progressing is somewhat disappointing. I do think I will bring Cirrus and Aganar as well as some of the machinery from Salentic. Aganar chose to stay with Catherine, but Cirrus is rather excited to come. He has spent the last few days here with me, helping me with the beginning phases of construction. He too seems to enjoy the ice and cold weather. He is intrigued with the crystals that we have brought with us. He has been a big help, as have others, and I hope to be able to begin my experiments here soon. Tonight Cirrus and I found a wondrous spot to view the lights, although it seems they decided to hide from us. After sitting in the cold winds for over 2 hours, we saw nothing. It was rather disappointing. Cirrus will return to Myst tomorrow. He has been a tremendous aid to me, and I am thankful for his willingness to help. The hard part of construction is over, although I have decided after tonight I would like to add some kind of observation post. I won't be finished as soon as I had hoped, although I'm fairly certain it will be worth the delay in the long run. I've decided to take a break in construction now that the tunnel is almost complete, and I have been able to set up a temporary space where the crystals will not be stimulated. I'm quite convinced that with the right diffraction resonance, certain properties of the ink can be stimulated. Catherine still finds it absurd and thinks I am crazy to assume I will be able to view ages with stones, but her unusual pessimism has not convinced me to stop trying. I came too close to success on Everdunes. I'm fairly certain now that the temperature does indeed have an effect on the crystals, but I have realized that the temperature alone is not enough. The cold dampens some of the sympathetic harmonics, but is more active suppressive than necessary. I've acquired some geodes with pure protected crystalline interior. The slices of the geodes below each crystal provide a stabilizing effect and even amplify the clean frequency slightly. After quite a bit of experimentation with the shapes and colors, I've been able to capture a blurry image within a book. Though the link would never work, there was clearly an age on the other side. I can hardly wait to return to Catherine. I feel like I should finish the shaft to my observation post while I have the machinery here, perhaps tomorrow morning. The lights were beautiful again last night. They have not shown themselves for so long that I had almost forgotten their beauty. I must still find the cause. I'm feeling rather overwhelmed with what remains to be done. The crystals have not been perfected, the shaft is not finished, nor is the observation post or even lab. I have not seen Catherine for some time, and I long to spend more time with Aganar and Cirrus. Besides all that, there are far away in the back of my mind thoughts of my people and our own lost city. I dreamt again of them last night. That's Kavir. I have only seen the city at its worst condition, and still its beauty overwhelmed me. Even now, as I visualize how majestic it must have been before the destruction caused by Viovius and Ageras, it amazes and saddens me. I'm fairly certain that the Dunny is not dead as my father believed. I'm convinced that there must be some who managed to escape the destruction and even now continue to survive within separate ages. Within me is an urging to take the chance and return to Dunny to find these survivors and properly rebuild our city. However, I can do nothing until I am certain of the fate of my father. If my plan failed, if I missed a single book when attempting to trap him on Riven, then he has been free all along. If that is true, then all that stands between him and the ages I have now written is the link from Dunny to Mist. As much as I wish to return to Dunny without knowing the state of my father, I cannot re-establish that link. I must observe my father without re-establishing that link. It has taken several years and there has been many dead ends, but I have partially succeeded. Now that I have managed to view another age in the crystals, it is only a matter of time until I view Riven. At least I hope. Catherine will have her ideas about all these things, and I miss her greatly. I will return to Rhyme later when my mind is cleared. So now, if you notice, there's been some additions. There's this circle and a code. So we can see the dimension, the imager is part of it. So let us begin our search for Rhyme there. Now we have the drawings of the topical extrusion test, so we know that we have to enter 40 into the imager. And he said there was a button on the back. So if we click on the button, I think I actually have to turn on, yeah, I have to turn it on, and then click the button in the back, and lo and behold, now we obviously see the spaceship, and something's moved. So now let's go, so we know something has just been opened over there. We can go. $2735. So now if we go over here, there's a doorway that originally was not there. Two, 7, 3, 5. So something's being raised. Oh, looky here. Now for the entire reason why you play this game. And the one reason why I have been trying to play through this game properly for years. Welcome to Rhyme. This was an additional age that was added in RealMyst. And as you can see from the journal, there is some connections between this and later games. Now, that's kind of weird that I appear over here, because originally I appear over here, but that works. You see this place is quite frozen over. Let's thaw out the place a little bit. And there we have the Mist book. see the different auroras. Now, here's the interesting part: is in RealMyst there was only 3 colors. This one you get a whole spectrum. You get to do the whole spectrum. Alright, we're done playing with that. Now there's a button here. And if we push it, we rotate 180 degrees, and before spending any more time with my experiments, I've decided that I must finish construction. I brought both Cirrus and Agonar this time. The shaft is almost finished as is the observation post. Both boys prefer it inside where it is warm, protected from the cold. Agonar sits in the observation post for hours, and Cirrus is consumed with the crystals and the glimpses of ages that we were able to see. Neither of them shows any real desire to leave. I cannot remember the last time my son spent so much time with me in an age. After much more experimenting with the shapes of crystals, we were able to get a nearly perfect view of an age inside of the book. Cirrus wanted to link immediately, not understanding the link was only visual. Without the ink, the crystals do not bind onto a particular age. Because of this, the crystals have an interesting side effect. It is possible to change the crystals and watch the age change. While in reality we are seeing a vast number of distinct, though similar, ages, displaying the current age defined by the crystals, it appears that we are changing the original age. Next to the lights. My son seemed more interested in the lights of the night sky right now. The only interest in the crystals seemed to be whether or not we can view Channelwood or Stoneship, 2 ages I have not seen in a long time. It is possible to view the ages, although the time it would take to find the correct combination would be prohibitive. I do not consider my task with the crystals complete, but I would rather keep Cirrus and Agonar excited and here, so we will move on to the lights. I think it's better to keep Riven from them, and so it is just as well that we move on to something else. I will view that place later. The lights are curious. Although originally thought the effect to be an organic one, I believe it to be an electromagnetic one. I think the effect could be triggered somehow. It's something that we'll have to try, and if Cirrus and Agonar have their way, it will be soon. I've never seen either of them so interested in my experiments, and I do not want to dampen their enthusiasm. It seems they forgot about the crystals now. I'm not sure if either of my sons was expecting the amount of work it would take. It had turned out to be a challenging working above the cold waters where the wind cuts through clothing and skin like a sharp knife. Still, even amidst the dark cold, they are driven to complete the task. It is a side of them that I have not seen before. Another hard day, but we have erected the first of the 3 towers. I'm too tired to write tonight. It has been a week. The 2nd and 3rd towers are up. We only need to connect the power. I'm exhausted, as are Cirrus and Agonar. However, they have no intention of quitting, and that drives me. The towers are finished, as is the power to each of them. Power will be conducted directly through the saline sea, alleviating the need for stringing wires and enabling us to locate the towers a comfortable distance away. Most of the remaining work can be accomplished inside, for when I am grateful. I am tired of the cold, and I look forward to the warm beaches of Mist Island. Perhaps we all deserve a break. We only spent a day with Catherine before returning. We are here only a minute before we again begin experiment with the towers and the electromagnetic discharges. We were able to create an arc for the first time between 2 towers. Its reflection in the cold waters was magnificent. We are close now. Tomorrow, after adjusting the voltage, we will know just how close. The beauty is awe-inspiring. At our command, multicolored waves of light dance across the dark sky. Brilliant flashes of white lightning that make the display even more amazing precede them. The boys are convinced they will be able to bring their mother here, and although she usually refuses to use the books, I'm convinced that she will come, or at least I hope. As for me, I must return to Mist or some other warm place. There's more to be accomplished here, but I long for the sun and will spend some time under its glow before returning. Catherine had to come after I told her my intentions to use the crystals to view Riven. She is not consumed with the setup of the geodes and the crystals and encourages me daily as I try to uncover the combination that will allow me to view that age. Cirrus and Agonar did not come this time. I must return to Everdunes. I believe that a few of the crystals I left in Everdunes may help me here. Catherine has returned home for now, but she will meet me on Mist Island in 3 days. I think I will be ready by then. So it's obvious that all of this is set up to view Riven. So we're going to go, now that we've rotated it, we're going to go down and come to the entire reason why we come to Rhyme. There it is. It is real. The work of your hands, the touch of your dreams. I've left my dream for you. I'm only yours, Catherine. Alright, so At least the colors are a little more pronounced now. Maybe I can actually do this time. The original one, the colors are really hard to tell, so I'm partially colorblind, so it's kind of a pain in the ass for me. Alright. Now we need the 3-prong. There we go. Alright, so that looks red. Yeah, that's red. Now the question is, how do I change the colors? Used to be you just hover over it and you could change the colors, but yeah. Yeah, I know the colors, I'm just trying to figure out how to change it.
Incoming transmission!
Yeah, because in the original version of RealMyst, you used to be able to. Okay, something changed. Ah, there we go. Okay, red. Is that green? I can't tell. There we go. Okay, so now we can see Riven, and that's pretty much it for the game. Although trying to look up how to change the colors of the crystals, I noticed that there's a couple little Easter eggs in here. So we are going to go find those. But that's why you come to Rhyme. So we got to raise it, rotate it, and then lower it again. So apparently there's a couple little Easter eggs that will change the color of the game. So you play in like older graphics, things like that. So one of the ones we have to go to Salentic, and I really don't want to. I'm going to do that one last because I really don't want to have to go all the way through it just to get back here and try the other one. So first one is supposedly on the back side of the clock tower. So we're going to go over here. So we gotta open the door and then go around the back side, and looky here, we have a couple.
Welcome to my hydrant. Could I interest you in a hot cup of tea?
And then we played in really weird black and white graphics from like older DOS games. And all the Easter eggs are triggered by these older games, older Cyan games. So there was one of them. Yeah, that was supposed to be based off of Cosmic Osmo, which was an older Cyan game, and Manhole was another game an early game that they did. So the next one we have to go to Mechanical to do it. And this is the original 8-bit Myst style colors. So let's go to mechanical. And to do that, we have to go to Cirrus's room. One thing I don't like about the new style gameplay is that you kind of move really slow. And this is Agano's room. Went the wrong way. Oh well. Alright, so... And now we're playing in the old school graphics, which I don't really recall them being that old, but... So... And then the last one is on... The last color Easter egg is on Celentic. And I don't know why I went this way, why I went the long way. I think the black and white probably would have been a little better if it wasn't night on Myst. If it was during the day, it probably would be better. Dice. All right, so last one is in Celentic. So when we complete Celentic, we're supposed to look up, and we should see some fuzzy dice. Yep, there's the fuzzy dice, and there is the other Easter egg for another Cosmo.
Hello, aliens. Welcome to planet, whatever. My name is Osmo.
And now we have grayscale. And you just click on it to revert it. So those are the 3 Easter eggs. Pretty much it for the game. I mean, there's not really much else. So all in all, definitely a nice follow-up to it. Couple things were okay. All in all, I really dug it. I thought they did a really good job keeping true to a lot of things. I like how they reused some of the old stuff, but they kept they redid some of the new stuff, like Atris's little speech to you when you're looking at the book. That's new. You can tell just by looking at him. He looks new. He looks a lot older than he did originally. But I like how they reused the old footage of Cirrus and Aganar, which was played by both Rand and Robin. Both the brothers played Cirrus and Aganar. So they did a really good job, I think, with keeping true to that, reusing that old footage, but updating it where it needed to be. Even though they recast Cirrus and Aganar for Revelation, I like how, like I said, it kept that hold on the original game. So all in all, definitely thoroughly enjoyable. I think I'm going to have to crack out on the Myst series for a little while. I might have to get my hands on Riven and Exile and play through those. But thanks for joining me, guys. I will catch up with you later.